An overwhelming majority of people in Bougainville have voted to seek independence from Papua New Guinea. The historic referendum was carried out over a 2-week period, with people asked if they wanted independence or greater autonomy from Papua New Guinea. The poll was a key part of a nearly 20-year-old peace agreement which brought an end to a bloody civil war in the region. Bohane is an Australian photojournalist, author and TV producer who has covered Asia and the Pacific Islands for the past 30 years. He was in Bougainville ahead of and during that referendum, and he joins me now in the studio. Thank you so much for being here, Ben. 97.7%. Were you surprised that the level of support for this was that high?
We knew it was going to be a very strong vote for independence. Even I was surprised by the extent of that. 97.7 is clearly overwhelming. So, I think it reflects what many are seeing as a legitimate, fairly free and fair election. I think it'll be up to PNG and Bougainville now to negotiate the next steps.
What were people in Bougainville telling you about why this vote was so important to them?
For them, it's a really historic moment. They went through a 10-year war, which claimed 20,000 lives, and then a very long peace process as well, which Australia and the region contributed significantly to. It's actually one of the good news stories of our region, that peace process. So through this referendum, we've come to the culmination of that particular aspect of the Bougainville Peace Agreement. The people of Bougainville have spoken very clearly, but that's not the final step. There's still negotiations ahead between the PNG government and autonomous government Bougainville. And in the end, it has to be ratified by the PNG Parliament.
And what do you think the chances are of the PNG government ratifying it? It's not guaranteed that that will happen, is it?
No, it's not guaranteed. This is part of a process. Under the Marape government in PNG, there's confidence, certainly on the Bougainville side, that they can deal with the Marape government. And I think if they both go into it acting in good faith, as President John Momas has said, then I think there's a good chance that they will come to some agreement. If there are changes of government in PNG, who knows? It's the land of the unexpected. But so far, I think there's confidence in the system and in the way both governments are going to be able to negotiate this.
And what are the risks if an agreement can't be reached?
There are risks that if PNG delays or is seen to delay ratification of this, or tries to extend a consultation period for too long, that will, push hardliners in Bougainville to potentially look at all sorts of options. I think it's too early to think about those, but clearly, there's a lot of work to do yet before Bougainvillians feel that, they'll have their chance at nationhood.
We're just seeing some of the still photographs that you took on your most recent trip. Can you just tell us about some of them?
Yeah, look, I turned up on the day in Arawa. There was a big rally, the final rally before the actual voting, and then I was there as they opened the first ballot boxes in the old capital, Arawa. And the first leaders to vote were actually some of the Bougainville Revolutionary Army commanders. There was a great sort of show of unity among the people. These are photos of men in their upe hats who were, coming out of the bush after many years in sequestration. That's part of the initiation process, and they were able to vote. Those upe hats are the symbol of Bougainville. It's right there on the centre of the Bougainville flag. So, yeah, it was a unique experience to go and see that as part of the referendum process. But big poll, big turnout, 85%, I think, of people turned out for the vote, and an overwhelming vote for independence.
And the mood?
The mood was festive, celebratory. People have waited a very long time for an opportunity to vote in a free and fair referendum that was peaceful by all measures.
And so do they know how long they want the rest of this process to take, given it's taken 20 years for this referendum to be held? They obviously don't want to wait another 20 years, do they? They
don't want to wait too much longer. I mean, this is a very decisive result, so they will be expecting both the PNG government and autonomous government Bougainville to move quite quickly towards consultation and then hopefully ratification in the Papua New Guinea Parliament.
Okay, Ben Bohane, thanks so much for coming in.
My pleasure.